Hi, I'm Phil, co-creator of Book of Beasties, the mental wellness card game, and CEO of Book of Beasties Limited. We develop award-winning children's mental wellness games and resources for school and home that use play, narrative and creativity to promote better mental health amongst children and young people. We welcome you to join us on a journey into the wonderful world of the Beasties, where we will demonstrate how we use these bizarre creatures to encourage the open and positive conversation about mental health, and how children can benefit from our playful and simple guided learning platform, on which they discover ways to help the Beasties, as well as themselves, explore useful wellness techniques via fun activities, and become the hero of their own well-being. So please allow me to introduce to you Dr Michelle Jayman, who will be discussing the psychological and research elements of Book of Beasties that make us the impactful resource that is used by thousands of children across the UK today.
Thank you, Phil, and thank you, Beasties. We'll be hearing more from you in just a moment. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Jayman. I am a chartered psychologist and a university lecturer, and I have many years' experience working in education. My area of research interest is children's mental health and well-being, and I'm particularly interested in interventions like Book of Beasties, which support children's socio-emotional development and help them stay mentally healthy and thrive.
Worryingly, there is mounting evidence of children's poor mental health across the globe, with data from the World Health Organization showing the percentage of children and adolescents experiencing difficulties at 10 to 20%. In England last year, 1 in 6 children aged 5 to 16, so around 16%, were identified as having a probable mental disorder. These figures are only part of the picture, as they do not capture children experiencing difficulties below diagnostic thresholds. Since 2012, UK charity, the Children's Society, has been conducting annual surveys on children's thoughts and feelings about their own well-being, and has identified a continuous downward trend in happiness among 10 to 15-year-olds. Last year's survey showed that children in the UK were less happy and satisfied with life compared to 21 other European nations. A healthy transition to adulthood is grounded in good mental well-being in childhood and adolescence. Over half of all mental health problems start during these stages, so they are critical developmental periods in which to intervene. The World Health Organization's Mental Health Action Plan, developed to tackle the global burden of poor mental health, is underpinned by a life course approach that stresses the importance of prevention. Furthermore, it states that responsibility for promoting mental health and preventing disorders extends across every sector of society, including, fundamentally, education. Learning environments should of course be at the heart of early intervention, and within school settings, children can learn social and emotional skills which are protective factors for good mental health. Schools have a considerable reach and opportunity to deliver health interventions. Around 66% of children are enrolled in secondary education and 89% of children in primary education worldwide. The pivotal role of schools in supporting children's mental well-being is widely recognised, and the new Relationships and Health curriculum in England places statutory responsibility on schools to promote mental well-being and provide appropriate support for children experiencing difficulties. By providing mental health education and embedding preventative strategies, more serious problems can be averted from arising. We also know that play in its myriad forms provides a unique channel for stimulating children's growth and development from infancy to adolescence. The contribution of play to children's lives is so vital, it is recognised by the United Nations as a right of every child. Hands-on, child-directed, playful learning experiences, characteristic of Book of Beasties, are considered the most effective for enhancing child development. Traditional practical games, including card games, are highly social. Through these play experiences, children develop essential communication skills, practice how to function as social beings, and learn how to cope and regulate their emotions. Research suggests that guided play with adult scaffolding is the most effective method for a range of learning outcomes, including socio-emotional development. Children learn best in interactive environments which invite them in as active collaborators and contain content they find meaningful. Book of Beasties uses this type of guided learning approach to create a playful learning experience which encourages children's socio-emotional development and supports their mental well-being.
So there you have it. There is a documented need for greater support for children's mental health. But it's not just the children that need support. The schools, teachers and parents do as well when addressing such serious topics, all of whom play integral roles in the preventing of more serious issues. Which is where Book of Beasties comes into the picture. Our gamified approach to mental health education makes our mental wellness card game accessible to all, being simple to deliver, fun for everyone, informative and impactful. The idea derived purely from personal experience. My team and I have all experienced mental ill health in some form or another. For me, it came in the form of a breakdown. I had just graduated with a degree in broadcast journalism and begun my career. I simply didn't see it coming. This, along with some questionable life choices, saw me become homeless for a short amount of time and deciding to leave my career in journalism behind to focus on getting well, which with the help of friends and family I thankfully did. But I wanted to know how I didn't see it coming, why I wasn't as in touch with my emotions as I had believed. And along with the other creators of Book of Beasties, we wanted to try to help children learn as early as possible about their emotions, so they could hopefully avoid such a situation, or at least be better equipped when life throws that inevitable curveball. So let me tell you a bit more about Book of Beasties. The game's primary ambition is to raise emotional literacy, teach resilience and empathy by encouraging the open conversation about mental health. It introduces children to well-being issues and solutions in a manner absorbable by them, delivered via stories, characters and circumstances that make these otherwise rather adult topics far more understandable and accessible from a child's perspective. To give you a better understanding of what I mean, watch this short animation that we show to the children before playing the game, introducing them to the Beasties universe and setting the scene for the oncoming adventure.
Once upon a time, deep in the rolling grey hills of England sat a castle in which sat a man named Oscar Amadeus. Oh, sorry, that's Foggy the cat. Foggy, where's Oscar? Ah, there he is. Sorry, Oscar. Right, where was I? Castle, man. Ah, yes, a man who is yet to find his purpose, but like us all, a purpose he most certainly has. You see, one fateful night, when Oscar and Foggy were rested by the fire, a strange blue light burst into the room, throwing Oscar and Foggy to the ground. It was not until he looked up that Oscar saw what accompanied the blinding light. A portal. One that led to another world, like ours, but more mysterious, and home to strange monsters. No, not monsters. Beasties. Oops. Well, these beasties were nothing like Oscar had seen before. They were quite cute, actually. Look, there's Aki. Oh, and Gemini. Halusan. Halusan. Decky. Oh dear. Pergy. Hello, Pergy. Yes, hello, Pergy. Brass Child. Oh my. And Populo. Goodness, she is beautiful. What's this? Ah, look, the Fever Men. Hypnor. Oops. There she goes. Oh gosh, gag attack. And of course, the cheeky little imp Mimic as well. Hello, Mimic. Every single beastie is as unique as they are wonderful, each with their own troubles for which they need help, which is why they've come to Oscar for help. But he can't do it alone, so he called his friend Abigail. Together they must help each other and every beastie feel better using Oscar's bizarre inventions before the portal closes, trapping the beasties here forever. Come on, Mimic, we need your help too.
Each beastie represents an emotion, or a collection of emotions, with which they require our help using particular items that, while seemingly normal, or not so normal as the case may be, translate into simple wellness activities, physical exercises and discussions. For example, the purple squid-like character you see here is called Papulo. She is extremely bright, creative and intelligent. However, every now and then, sometimes completely out of the blue, she gets a foggy brain and cannot focus or concentrate on anything at all. Quite a common sensation amongst the best of us, but not so easy to explain, especially for a child who maybe does not fully understand why they are feeling such a way. To help Papulo, we use what we call the bellows that you can see there on the green card. This item, which is just something you would use to blow air on a fire, translates into deep breathing. So together we can show Papulo how to take deep breaths that may help clear her foggy mind, discuss why this might work and how we can use it in day-to-day life, and then practice the activity that goes along with it. In this case, the activity being paper boat races, where we create an origami paper boat and use our deep breaths to blow them across the table, thus creating that positive connection between how the beastie is feeling and the fun activity which represents the solution. So, if a child feels as though they have a foggy brain or is finding it hard to concentrate, then firstly they can say to someone who also uses Book of Beasties, "I feel like Papulo," and that person will know exactly what they mean. And secondly, the child will connect the beastie with the fun activity, and therefore naturally coming to the conclusion of the wellness solution that they could potentially practice to feel better. We will be practicing the paper boat race in this video, so if you would like to join in, pause the video here to make your own origami boat ready for the race. There is plenty of opportunities for discussion and activities throughout the game, with 10 different beasties to help and 3 versions of each character introducing a different element to their personality that inspires different discussions. The item cards feature our unique take on wellness solutions, such as the deep breathing I mentioned, positive thinking, practicing good posture, and healthy eating, to name a few. The comfort cards can be used to promote teamwork and empathy by sharing them with each other and the beasties to help. Each of the comforts in the game was designed by the children that we work with throughout the research and development stages of the game. And finally, the action cards. Aside from being mechanical to make the game a bit more challenging and fun, also feature the yoga moves, introducing simple stretches that the children can practice throughout the game and in their own time. And trust me, they are simple because I am terrible at yoga. In fact, let's try one now. The tree pose, which helps you to have a peaceful mind. Stand on one leg with the other bent, the sole of your foot rested on your inner thigh. Concentrate on your balance by choosing a point ahead of you to look at and focus on. Slowly lift your arms above your head and maybe, like a majestic tree, sway in the breeze. This may sound like a lot to fit into one game, and it is a lot. So how can you have any time to talk? Well, we have created easy to follow lessons that provide structure to each game, meaning you can focus on particular topics, beasties, activities and themes. Before using the game, the children are introduced to the characters, who they are, how they're feeling, how we may be able to help. They can then choose who the focus of the game will be. When this character appears throughout, gameplay is paused, allowing time for discussion, activity and deeper exploration of that character. What is wonderful to observe is when the children develop a connection with a particular character, draw similarities between how they're feeling and why that might be. Over time, they begin to talk through the characters as if it were an avatar, such as on social media or another computer game. This is when Book of Beasties comes into its own. Right, if you've made your origami boat, then get them ready as we're going to set sail. If you haven't, you can pause the video here to follow the instructions and make your own. Now you've made your boat, set it down on a smooth surface like a table or something. If you have a straw, then perfect, but preferably a paper one though. You've got to look after those turtles. If not, then that is fine. Don't use a straw at all. Take a big, deep breath. Breathe in and really fill your lungs. Then slowly exhale, blowing the boat as far as you can and letting your stress drift away with it. The universe of Book of Beasties builds around the characters, and the culture that they introduce to the children is one of openness, honesty and empathy. It immerses them into this world of wellness that normalises the topic of mental health like never before. But don't just take my word for it. Check out this video from some of the experts who use Book of Beasties today.
I think Book of Beasties can be really helpful to teachers in helping them to have the language to communicate with children about their emotional health and well-being, also to give them a structure and an approach to those conversations.
Book of Beasties guide is a fantastic book to have. It sets out all the lessons for you, it gives you all your assessments, gives you everything you need.
Book of Beasties can be really helpful in inspiring positive mental health conversation. It also allows children to learn in lots of different ways. By looking and seeing the cards, they're doing it in a social context, which immediately kind of tackles the stigma situation where people are sharing and are talking about emotional health and well-being. The materials provided in the Book of Beasties have characters that are relatable for children and young people, and I think would appeal across all ages and genders.
With the Book of Beasties you get to do a lot of other things without just playing the game. Make boats, make hats. It's not just a card game, you get to get up, you get to move around, get to blow the boats off the table with your breathing exercises. I think it's really affordable. It's just paper, it's pencils. I've got TAs here that are running the intervention and are adapting it to themselves as well and writing smoothie lists because the children love to get the smoothie card. I love the Book of Beasties because it's helping children. It is a fantastic thing. The visual side of it, the kids love it. They're touching it, they're feeling it, they can see it. The colours are fantastic. I tried it here at school and straight away children just took to it. I can see results, which is fantastic.
Hello again. I hope you enjoyed those wellbeing exercises and are feeling calm and relaxed. I'm going to talk to you now about how we are starting to build the evidence base for Book of Beasties, and you might decide that you and your school would like to get involved.
As previously mentioned, the new Relationships and Health curriculum in England places statutory responsibility on schools to promote and support mental well-being. However, research suggests that many teachers and school staff feel overwhelmed and ill-prepared for this duty. A major challenge for school leaders tasked with implementing prevention and early intervention initiatives is the limited knowledge about the most effective and appropriate approaches. Robust evaluations are needed to generate case studies of good practice for schools to share and to enable senior leaders to make informed decisions. A pilot study was conducted last year to investigate key stakeholders' perceptions and experiences of Book of Beasties. School staff delivering the sessions and parents and carers provided valuable feedback. Most importantly, children participating in Book of Beasties were part of the evaluation and took part in focus group discussions. It is increasingly acknowledged that children's active contribution in assessing interventions aimed at them is important for establishing if a programme is effective, acceptable, and meaningful. Findings from the pilot study showed that children benefited from attending the Book of Beasties sessions in terms of developing socio-emotional skills. Some specific components which contribute to effectiveness were identified and include the fantasy elements of the game and the sensory-focused activities. Book of Beasties was seen as valuable and acceptable by the school staff who delivered the sessions, parents and carers, and crucially by the children themselves. The study concluded that Book of Beasties offers a flexible and promising resource for a range of staff working in schools who hold responsibilities for supporting children's mental well-being. So what did children have to say about Book of Beasties? Children demonstrated empathy with the Beasties, and some children reported that particular worries the Beasties were experiencing mirrored their own. Like B, who said, "I also sometimes have a foggy brain. I need to take a deep breath in, and so does Populo." The idea of heroically entering the world of the Beasties to help them with their worries was appealing to children who were enthusiastic and keen to help, as illustrated by Dave. He, Bronze Child Beastie, is sometimes stressed, and I think it's worth helping him. Playing the Book of Beasties game is a highly social experience for children. They have to work together to help the Beasties and practice social skills and cooperation. The well-being exercises used in Book of Beasties are sensory-focused and involve active learning. All the children found these really fun. One of the most popular games was racing paper boats by blowing through straws, which helps children practice deep breathing. The benefits associated with these types of activities were recognised. As B pointed out, there was this tree pose, and it's like it helps you to relax to do a tree pose. Children also gave examples of when they applied the exercises they'd learnt to everyday situations. For example, Olivia reported, "Every time I get annoyed or couldn't sleep, I took deep breaths, and it really helped because it calmed me down." A body of research suggests that these sorts of well-being exercises are effective for reducing stress and improving well-being, especially when delivered in a non-prescribed way, such as through playing a game, like Book of Beasties. Play experiences are essential for healthy child development, and practical games, like Book of Beasties, offer an important pedagogical tool for socio-emotional development. Children are engaged when content is interesting and meaningful to them, and they are active in the learning experience. The pivotal role of schools in supporting children's mental well-being is unquestionable, but decision makers should rely on the strength of the evidence to ensure the most effective and appropriate interventions are chosen. A full evaluation of Book of Beasties is now underway to help contribute to a growing evidence base. If you would like to find out more about the research or get involved, you can access all the information, including published articles, via the Book of Beasties website. Also, look out for more on Book of Beasties in the new book, Supporting New Digital Natives, Children's Mental Health and Wellbeing in a High-Tech Age, which will be available in the autumn.
To support teachers, parents and children remote learning, we launched our Remote Wellness Kit, which we released free to use throughout and beyond school closures caused by the lockdown. This kit can be used as a standalone resource or as a simple companion to the game and is currently being used by thousands of teachers and parents nationwide. You can get yours for free from our website and try it out with your children. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Thank you so much for watching our video and spending time with us and the Beasties. We hope you like what you've seen. If you're interested in finding out more, then please feel free to reach out to me on philT@bookofbeasties.com or to our customer success manager Penelope on penelope@bookofbeasties.com. Please give us a follow on social media @bookofbeasties and pay us a visit on bookofbeasties.com to find out how we are inspiring the conversation about mental health to brighten the future of children through our world of wellness.